Tokyo, Japan. In 2017, a 21-year-old woman named Aiko was planning to meet up with her online friend. Little does she know, she will not be coming back from this trip. She will become one of the 9 victims lost to one of the most horrifying serial killing cases in recent history. This situation will lead to the massive change in public safety throughout Japan and will be one of the most disturbing cases of online anonymity. Since the early 2000s, a disturbing trend emerged within small Japanese internet communities. Something called have been taking the lives of many. It's a trend that emerged as online groups and forums have begun. This growing anonymity allowed vulnerable and young people to vent out their mental struggles, connect over shared experiences, to meet up in real life together. The freedom people found within the internet made them find comfort in opening up to dangerous, faceless strangers online rather than seeking professional help. Searching for these communities comes easy. They can be found within any social media out there, but this case had happened to take place on Twitter. And the center of all this activity was through a profile by the name of Aiko. This account would frequently post about these communities, often being one that seemingly provides support. He would often tweet out things like, "Bullying continues in schools and workplaces. If things don't go well with the people I meet and the places I go to every day, I'm going to be pushed to my limits mentally. I think there are many people in the world who have attempted suicide and are suffering, even though it is not reported in the news. I want to be the source of strength for such people." From the outside, Hanging Pro seemed like a person who had gone through similar challenges and looked to help those in need. As optimistic and reliable this page seemed to be on the surface, lay a dark and sinister nature beneath. The person behind this Twitter page was a man by the name of Takahiro Shiraishi. He was known by his peers as the Creepy Scout. You see, Takahiro found himself working in Kabukicho, in the red light district of Tokyo. He was a scout. His job involved recruiting young women on the street and persuading them to work in brothels. Takahiro was living a secret double life. At night, he was luring young women, and during the day, he was disguised as Hanging Pro. See, Takahiro made this page for one reason only, and it's not to support people in need, but it was a ploy to lure in young and impressionable victims from an already easily influenced community. He would find his victims through those who interacted with his posts, mainly young women. He would try to get close to them and eventually convince them to take their lives together. He would talk to them for periods of time to gain their trust and manipulate them to the point where Takahiro had full control over his victims. Only then he will set up a meeting spot with his victims, usually in a train station. He would take them to his apartment, where he would proceed to take their life in the most brutal way you can ever imagine. He would proceed to do this 9 times within the span of 3 months. One of his victims was Aiko Tamura. which ties us back to the very beginning of this video. Aiko had planned to meet Takahiro, unaware that her brother had access to her Twitter account. Concerned for her safety, he traced her interactions and discovered her plans to meet an unknown man. Alerting the police, they used this information to identify Takahiro's general location. Surveillance footage revealed Aiko leaving a train station with him, leading authorities to pinpoint his apartment. When they had raided the small space, what they found inside was one of the most disturbing things the police department has ever seen. Inside his tiny apartment were 8 coolers left haphazardly. Inside were the remains of his victims. But something stood out, something out of the ordinary. When the police opened the coolers, they found cat litter in all the boxes to cover up what was within. It's an odd detail that will make more sense later on. This crazy story would make headline news all around Japan, and Takahiro would later be coined the name, the Twitter Killer. This disturbing rabbit hole will later be dug deeper. On 2chan, an anonymous thread titled Urgent: How to Get Rid of 50 kilograms of Meat appeared in 2017, the same year Takahiro Shiraishi committed his murders. The post stated, "Due to some circumstances, I got 50 kilograms of meat. But what can I do? I'm not a big eater, so I want to dispose of it as soon as possible." While most responses treated it as a joke, some offered serious advice, including using refrigerators and notably, cat litter. The original poster replied to these suggestions saying, "The problem is where to throw it away. You don't really want other people to know." The suspicious nature of the thread, the reference to 50 kilograms, the average weight of an adult Japanese female, and the use of cat litter have led many to believe that Takahiro was the OP of this thread. The case of Takahiro Shiraishi is definitely one of the most disturbing ones I've found in a while. His Twitter page and 2chan posts are still left on internet.